Hello, this is episode 26 of the New York City Wrestling Series. This is a show of our first show of 2022, and we are going to start seeing some new debuts. There is about six people I brought in, some of which from FCW, some of which have been long term people on the short list. So we're injecting new blood, and none of them have popularity. So we are going to having new projects to get over, and I want to try to not bring in anybody from the big three this year. That said, it's gonna be a good show. In a matter of we're still finding our footing with the championship. It's almost secondary, it feels like, and we got someone going or getting signed away. So let's get to it, and then we'll go over it. So it's Saldomio going over tonight. He makes it right versus Ryan McMahon. Saldomio was the star of 2020. Lost to Matt Stranger and kind of hasn't gotten his footing under him last year. So he's hoping to start off 2022 correctly. Following that, we introduced Austin Smooth to our company and he defeats Hawkeye Calhoun. Austin Smooth left PSW in end of 2020. Okay, just had to pause it. Um, but Austin Smooth is definitely going to be someone who I'm excited for. He's a lightweight. We just talked him into gaining weight to go to middleweight spot. So we now have room for one more lightweight act as we have the LA Stars. And LA Star number two also has been talked to going to middleweight. Following that, we get the boys from Yukon finally defeating the Executioners, kind of ending this little feud, uh, getting the boys from Yukon back as faces, and seeing how we can do from there. We introduced Primetime Jack Pride as a new person on our roster. Um, he is flirting with Joy Ryder, who's our energetic babyface, is just a way to introduce him. Following that, we had Danny Fonzarelli defeating Richie Riggins. Not really much to say there. We have Davis Wayne Newton defeating Tennessee William in the biggest match to date and the biggest win of his career to date. Um, and Tennessee William is one that is signed away. TCW signed him, and yeah, it is what it is. Ultimately, we found his popularity was capping at 52, and kind of didn't know where else to go with him other than just put up great ratings. So sad to see him go, but yeah, it is what it is. Kind of expecting it. Following that, we had Original Center and Supermassive Destroyer lose to the LA Stars, who make defense number 14 of their New York City Wrestling titles. And what the storyline was, about halfway through the match, Hell's Bouncer shows up, and Original Center leaves the match and walks off with Hell's Bouncer. So what does that mean long term? What does that mean for Supermassive Destroyer? What does that mean with Original Center, Hell's Bouncer? Um, Story will be told, and I have a different render for Hell's Bouncer we'll get to eventually. And then our main event, we had Ryan McManus defeating Sodomia, making defense number 2 of his Empire title. And again, I don't think we have two originals meeting that 60 mark, unfortunately. So, yeah, even Davis Wayne Newton, Tennessee William are at 59. That said, very good show. Happy enough with it. Um, Introducing new characters, sometimes you like when you bring new people in, you just rush to get them over and don't tell like any good stories, quote unquote. I hope not to do that, and I hope to keep everybody going. And we even had some omissions on the card. So like Matt Stranger wasn't on the card, Andrew Harper, uh, the two biggest names not on the card. So our roster is getting big, but with the game world now going back into a positive direction, I think by this time next year we'll start introducing a weekly TV show. So when we have like a roster of 30 plus 4 women. All right, had to pause it again. Um, Nonetheless, I think with the game world and the way our growth is going, we're starting to make a profit. So this time next year, logically, it's going to make sense for us to start doing weekly TV. And yeah, with that, it's going to be pretty interesting. What I think I'm gonna do with weekly TV is record just like we did for the like a monthly event and just kind of review. Okay, so and just show it this way. I really don't know though. That's a year from now in game, so we'll see. Nonetheless, um, Luke's Sacrimony is the blacklist exemption. Cobra's being brought in, and Mass Mauler is being brought in. Supermassive Destroyer might be turning face, might not. As you guys saw before, I can and will change my opinion on that. And then we also will be having Fuyoka defending her title in the next show, or in action at least. So maybe we get behind the women's division a little bit now as well, without the me caring about the roster size. That said, that's gonna be it for this show. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to show you guys. Not really. Um, yeah, that said, we are in pretty good shape right now. Turning up money. We're earning triple our money by end of this year. We're turning a profit now, and our company is growing. So probably 2 years away from medium, maybe. Um, kind of hit a stagnant point at 40. It's not 4 months in a row with no real popularity growth. So I don't want to hit that stagnant point. So that's part of bringing new people like a Davis Wayne Newton. And then honestly, once we start hitting a lot of it's called not incentive, like we're just clearing a lot of money, we're gonna start signing people to 2 to 3 year deals. As you see, our sponsorship money has not been steady, or has not been high compared to some saves. Just with where the game world's at, really bottoming out. Um, that said, see if there's anything else. No, that's really it. Kind of showed you guys everything. Um, the booking right now, I don't want to get in that guy over. So Davis Wayne Newton, we gave him like 4 big wins. Now he's probably ready for a storyline. Austin Smooth, we just introduced him. He's kind of a little bit ready made because he was in PSW. Um, so we have like maybe two like another match and then start getting him going storyline. The world or the Empire title, I kind of want to get a storyline going with that. Well, it's gonna be a two-part storyline where Ryan McManus is involved in a secondary storyline, but Kynes brings the main line. And the LA Stars, yeah, we're just getting them wins kind of, but that's their storyline is just their tag team who is going to go down as one of the best ever. And the company, let's see here. And yeah, no, next show, I'm already looking at it. We are going to start a pretty long storyline that's going to have severe implications for a couple people in the roster. Um, that said, I am excited to see our growth and development with the roster. And unfortunately, this is Tennessee Williams, the last show in New York City Wrestling. So let me know how you guys saw I use Tennessee Williams overall. As you can see here, TCW signed him. He already had an 85 rating. Wow. Uh, but that said, I mean, an average of like a 50 with us. He's been an absolute stud and been one of the most consistent performers we've had, having a record of 16-8 overall. So fairly protected. Um, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. Have a good one.